Good morning. It is 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I kind of just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I went back to bed for a little bit and I'm still kind of feeling a little blah. I got a stomach bug or I ate something, but yeah, definitely not feeling great this morning. Um, I mean, I'll be okay, but not great. Uh, these things happen. Bodies. hmm Anyway, so last night I finally finished the main story for Ghost of Tsushima, which is a video game. This is an open world samurai game from Sucker Punch. uh, Playing on the PS5. And I've actually talked about it a little bit, but not in a while, just because, it's been something I've been playing, not even really off and on, just like when I have time to play video games. That's generally the one I've been focusing on. And it's an open world game, so you spend a lot of time on it compared to some other kinds of games. But overall, I really liked it a lot. I played it in Japanese language mode with English subtitles. And one of the things that probably would have made me change that setting if I were playing it on the PlayStation 4, but the PS5 version does have it so that the mouth movements match the language. Uh, but in any case, the story, as I've previously said, gosh, I'm still feeling a little out of it. The story is the Japanese island of Tsushima is invaded by the Mongols, and so we have a character who plays a samurai, which has a very strict code of honor, but he starts to come to the conclusion that in order to successfully defeat the Mongols, he's going to have to violate things that he thought of as a code of honor, which mostly involves like being sneaky and attacking from stealth rather than just in a straight up face-to-face battle. And he does this despite knowing that the his uncle, the person who raised him, would disapprove, and he feels really torn by that dilemma. But it is kind of interesting because not that it's the most sophisticated telling of this idea at all, but it does just kind of raise the question of these sorts of codes of honor, because we tend to think of them as a good thing, but it is also the sort of thing where it's one thing to say a code of honor is positive, but it does present you with a scenario where you might be forced to make the decision of either preserving your honor or winning the battle. You might have to choose one or the other. And, you know, the idea that like if your code of honor is so important that it's worth dying along with all of your fellow samurai and allowing your island to be captured by the enemy? Like, but where do you draw the line? Because there's in particular one plot point where he comes to a conclusion that the only way to take this one particular fort is to use poison. And that's the thing that is finally, you know, beyond the pale for his uncle. And so our hero does that and it works, but also then the enemy starts using poison on everyone else. And so it does kind of become this question of like, when you go more extreme, it does in some ways encourage the enemy to reprise in that same way. And, it does raise the question, for example, of it's one thing to say, You don't have to be handcuffed to a code of honor if it's going to mean your death. But it's another thing to say, like, was poison the only way? Could that, but sometimes you have to make these decisions in battle, it's these sorts of things. And so the story kind of explores all of that. And it's also just very beautiful, and it is, leaning heavily into all these samurai movies. And it was just really good. I really liked it. So that game has an expansion, Iki Island expansion, and I haven't played any of that part yet, but I beat the main story and liked it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.